Today is the day that we're going to find out if that exhaust housing we put on the black turbo Foxbody is going to really make any sort of difference. We're heading back to the dyno to see if 363 stroker responded and really alleviate some of our back pressure. So we're gonna do no trailer, no truck. We're gonna simply drive our car over to the dyno, make some hits, make some power, drive it home. But first, we gotta clean it up a little bit and we gotta get some fuel put in it because we run ethanol on this car, E85, so it's gonna consume a lot of fuel today. All right, guys, so we made it here to the dyno shop. We're strapping the car down. We got, you know, Dave Dulk in the house with the mad scientist, with Corey Binks and Kevin Cragen here. So the reason why we're coming here to the dyno today is to basically touch up the tune on the black car. As you know, that the turbo is pretty much rebuilt. We've got a ball bearing turbo and a larger housing. And being that it's binary editor, it's A9L and factory harness. Anytime you make a significant change, it's going to change the tune and the way it runs. So I think we got a little bit of a miss as well, as I wanted to check that out. We're not here to make a significant amount of horsepower. We're not here to make big horsepower at all. As you guys know, this engine's going in the coupe. We're building something different for the black car soon. But for you guys just joining the channel, this is a 363 stroker with a 7675 large exhaust housing turbo, precision turbo, TKX transmission, twin disc, RXT, HD, McLeod, and a built 31 spline axle with a spool. So let us get this thing strapped down and we will start making some horsepower. Come on, Corey. Come on, Corey. Tell us what you're doing to your car.
Putting it back together.
How fast are we going this year?
789.
What? It's stick shit, baby. That's the type of people that I have to try to keep up with. He makes insane amount of horsepower. He does really well with this car. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's Binks Built, at Binks Built on Instagram. Big shout out to him and Dave for building the engine, putting it back together, and getting it ready for the season. As you guys all know, when we come to the dyno shop, we always tune with our cutout off. All right, so after a few hours of monkeying around, we had to actually weld a nut onto the bung because the downpipe was pretty much seized. So now we're back to where we were a couple hours ago. Just got the wideband in and yeah, ready to make some actual hits in the car, maybe mess them with the tune a little bit. So if it ain't one thing, it's another, ain't it?
Every time.
Windows update. So we started making some pulls, warming the car up, checking the binary editor and the tune. Need, mind you, the ball bearing turbo is a little bit different than the journal bearing. And we also had a new exhaust housing put on it. We didn't really know what to expect, but we're kind of fighting a little bit of a mess here too. One of the main reasons why I wanted to come to the dyno to kind of try to diagnose what the issue is. So here we are making several pulls, checking the dyno to try to figure it out. All right, so we're messing around with the 4 pulls, mess with the settings a little bit. It is what it is.
I don't know why it's chopped off. That's where it started though at 3,500.
Let you guys know what we're doing. The car's spooling, it's doing pretty well, but we switched the housing and I think it works pretty well, but Corey made up a good point that a divided 132 would probably be equivalent to like a open 1.0, which wasn't much different than the one turbo housing that we had on it. So we're gonna go home and grab the 127 AGP housing, which is the one that we were gonna try and put on to begin with. I sent one out to Edgar at 650 Motors, and we got one here for the black car, the 363 turbo. We gotta go home and grab our tools and grab our shit. And we're gonna switch the housing right here in time.
Time is money, buddy. Hurry up.
Fast forward about an hour, so I decided to go home and grab the AGP housing. I think that this will help us. This is an open housing and it's larger than the 9.6 that was originally on it, and it'll help with flow, whereas I have a original precision 1.32 housing, which looks like it's actually physically smaller than the 96, but it's a little bit wider. But that's a twin scroll style housing. So done some homework on the twin scroll divided versus an open, and we're just gonna go back to the open, and I think that's what we're having our issue, because our manifold's an open too, so kind of a learning experience here. Thought I was getting a bigger housing than what I had on there. Let's get to work. So you guys can see this is the AGP open housing, which means that this is open on the turbine. And this is an open manifold B&G style, and you can see kind of where the issue would be with the divided. You know, the flow ratio is going to be a little bit different. You can see how much larger that housing really is. You see that?
That's huge.
Yeah. Hopefully my pipe actually fits it. So let's go ahead and get this thing on and get rolling. All right, guys, so we got the housing replaced. What did we learn here? Well, the twin scroll is a little bit different than the open, and I think that this is gonna get us back to where we were at, plus a little more. I don't know, we'll find out, right? All right, here we go, round two. So at this point, we had changed the exhaust housing, hoping to alleviate some of the back pressure with the 1.27 open. Now we're actually kind of reconstructing the tune. We took a lot of the timing out of it, and we didn't really add a whole lot of boost just yet. Just trying to make things right. But we're still fighting a miss at 5,000 that we haven't figured out yet. right, guys, so we're pretty much done tuning for the day. We made, what, 600, 650, 15 degrees timings. We're kind of messing around with the tune a little bit. Like I said, you know, we picked up a little bit just changing the housing itself. So you can see it made 602, 715, and you can see it's coming in pretty hard. We're gonna come back tomorrow and, like I said, tale of two housings. We made about 50 more horsepower with the same timing. Guys, I don't claim to be an expert at turbos. I don't claim to be an expert at tuning, but you know, the car made 700 wheel once at like 15 or 16 pounds. And we're gonna try to kind of replicate that and make sure we clean up the tune and make sure it's happy. So stick around. We're gonna come back tomorrow and finish up the tune.